Hello and welcome to a new episode of Shadows over DC. So tonight we have a council meeting. So SC has gathered Zahira and Seeker, and she's told them that they're going to go to a council meeting with her. She's explained that it is going to be a good opportunity for them to meet the other supernaturals of the city. And they left with a few other mages, all of them younger mages, newer mages to the city. And they headed towards more of the center of the city. In Kindred territory, Donald was approached by the Marquis Teresa Montremont of the Invictus, and she personally requested his presence at the meeting in order to show the other kindred, the other covenants, the skill that the Invictus has in dealing with the others, and why they should remain the ruling kindred covenant. An example, so to speak, to show that even their neonates are excellent in such situations.
He will accept and thank her for the honor and demonstrating their obvious superiority.
She will, take him along, and they will head towards the center portion of the city. Claudio has his entourage to arrive. So when you all arrive, it's a small hotel in the center of the city that was rented for the meeting. And when you'll all enter, it is obviously night out. When you enter, you go to a conference room. This conference room is, it's kind of weird. It's got like posts placed at equidistant areas around it, around the edges of the room. When you pass by them, you kind of hear this humming. And if you ask any of the many security guards there what they're for, they will tell you that they're to keep eavesdroppers out. Once you actually are inside the conference room, it's got a four rows of pews almost set up going in the cardinal directions with a table, there's some nice unfolding tables with nice tablecloths and everything on them set up in the middle with chairs. And the chairs face inward, by the way, at the middle table. Each go to sit at their table. And you are told that you can mingle with the other supernaturals, but with the other guests, but once the meeting itself starts, then you'll be directed to your area unless you have something to say to the meeting. And Teresa will go along with the speakers of the other houses, and you guys are free to mingle.
All right. Zahira will look over to Seeker and say, well, we have some free time. Let's mingle, shall we?
Yes, I want to go meet all of the supernaturals. Do you think there are vampires around? I really want to meet a vampire.
Well, let's poke around and see what happens.
So excited.
And Zahira is gonna start kind of prowling about right now. She's I don't want to say she's in her natural element, but she's kind of in her natural element. Eventually, though, she'll stop across and see. Couldn't pull up his name. Donald. What's Donald? What does Donald look like, and what's he up to right now?
He is like about 6 feet tall. Hair cut very short, black hair. Keeps a pair of glasses on and is wearing a pretty decent suit. Not like it's not the highest end of suits, but it's pretty close. Kind of sitting at a table waiting for the meeting to begin.
And he's by himself.
Yes, unless the Marquis stay with him.
Then Zahira will look over to Seeker and she'll say, I think we found our first mark.
I'm so excited. And immediately Seeker will walk over there and just say, hello, what's your name?
I will just kind of look up at her. Good evening, I'm Donald. Who are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm Seeker. It's great to meet you, Donald.
A pleasure.
So, since this is like a meeting, I will just come out and say it the first time in like forever. I'm a mage. What are you?
A vampire. He looks a little off-put. Just a smidge.
She will turn to Zahira and say, you are right!
Zahira, she was walking about a little more slowly, so Seeker was able to get there first and talk a bit. Zahira, once she gets there, she'll say, I guess. And she'll look at Donald and she'll say, I apologize for my friend. She's been very enthusiastic about meeting other members of the community. It's all harmless, I assure you.
Seeker will look.
No trouble.
Seeker will, look insulted, and she'll kind of place a hand over her chest and say, "Oh, why do you have to apologize for me? I did nothing wrong." I was like, "What?"
Nothing wrong morally, but I think our friend was caught off guard by your enthusiasm.
I mean, is that a bad thing?
Not always, but I wouldn't consider it the best thing here. And she'll look over to Donald and she'll say, Zahira, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, pleasure is all mine.
And Zahira will actually extend her hand. Also, let me know if anyone here understands Arabic, because Zahira does translate to something.
He'll shake her hand, and he doesn't. So.
Yeah. And after they shake hands, Zahira will sit down a respectable distance away from Donald, and she'll ask, so I am woefully ignorant on the ways of your kind. I would ask you if you would like something to drink, but I figure that's one assumption I can safely make.
He'll just kind of nod. Yes, our choice of drink is slightly more difficult to come by.
But of course.
Do you guys really turn to dust when you're in the sunlight?
He's just kind of look at Seeker and then transition back to Zahira.
And then
She'll just
Seeker,
say,
my bad.
"Go ahead, Kim. My bad."
Seeker she'll sit there for a moment and then realize what she's just asked would sound like, hey, tell me how you can die so I can kill you. And then she'll say, I didn't mean it in any bad way. It's just, like all the stories I've always said, and then, and sunlight is bad for you guys, but then like there was twilight. Or do you guys actually sparkle? Or
Don't worry. But yes, sunlight is a bit of a problem for us.
Okay. By a bit of a problem, do you mean like it actually like harms you guys, or is it just like a mild annoyance that gives you like a really bad sunburn?
He'll just kind of like hold a fist up and then like open it and say, poof.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, I wonder if I do that now. Okay.
Zahira will look to Seeker and she'll just say, "Would you like to perform a physical on him?"
I could. I am studying to be a nurse. Could I, Mr. Donald?
Perhaps at a later date.
I will keep you to that offer. What's your number?
He'll take out a business card, hand it to her.
She'll ask for another.
We'll quirk an eyebrow, but ask what hand over another one.
I'm back. She will ask for another business card.
Hands over another card, quirking an eyebrow a little bit.
She'll write her number on the back of that one and hand it to him. And she'll look over to Zahira and say, "Thank you. This is really cool. Do you want to be there when we do it too? Like I can show you like the different muscles and everything like that. It's really cool. If they have muscles. Do you guys still have muscles? Like is it like a normal what happens? Like when you go from when you go from like human to, undead?"
Pretty much just that. We are dead now, but for the most part, we're unchanged.
Okay, so you guys still have all like your organs and everything like that?
Mhm.
Give you a thumbs up and look to Zahira and say, "This is so cool." Oh, there's Tim. Okay. So, Tim, did you catch that last bit of what Seeker was saying to Zahira?
No, I did not. My bad. I just crashed.
Okay. Basically, I can speak today. Basically, she was like, "Thank you so much for introducing us. Do you want to be there when like the physical happens?" So I
Okay.
can like.
Zahira's response would be, "As curious as I am, I think I would require a new friend's consent before I did anything like that. Even though I wouldn't be
Kinda tilt
there.
her head.
Something can be said for watching."
Okay.
And she'll actually look at Donald and ask, "Would that be okay with you?"
That is fine by me.
Excellent.
I've been telling you two a lot. Would you mind if I ask you some questions about yourselves?
Of course.
Sure.
I will admit I don't mages. Um, what do you do exactly, if you don't mind me asking?
She'll think, and she'll finally respond with, I think many of us would say that we can do the impossible. However, I would probably disagree with that. We've been given a piece of something by something greater than ourselves. And we channel a piece of that through us into this world. At least that's the secular way of viewing it.
Interesting. Do you have a different viewpoint on this, Seeker?
Yeah. Um. Mine is, I guess, what you'd think of as a more kind of scientific kind of way. Um. Basically, and to cut the slack, and I guess we all need to keep our little secrets. Um. We can do. Well, we can do the impossible. Like myself, I can bring the dead back to life. Not actually like put their souls back in it or anything, but I can create zombies. Um, at higher levels, we are able to take over other, like, I will just say it plainly. At higher levels of our magic, we can manipulate your bodies, and she'll motion to Donald. Um, but, um, like, I can also turn rain into wine and orange juice and, water into, like, wine and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that Jesus was just some sort of matter mage, but that's matter and life mage. But that's not the point here. Um, you know, it's it's less, magical if you kind of think of it. Um, our souls are connected to this big place, and it is that connection which grants us greater powers. I mean, the same thing could be said for anyone. Like, if anyone's soul was connected to that place, they would be able to do it too. So it's not so much mystical as, just kind of hey, you do this and you do this, and this reaction will happen, and you will be able to do this. It's not such, but every mage has a different viewpoint on it. Just like I guess vampires have a different viewpoint for their things.
He'll nod. So I think. Is there something that makes it more likely that one of you would, pardon the term, awaken or gain this new power? Or does it seem to just happen by chance?
There is a group related to one path, and paths are, I guess, you can say they're different kinds of mages. There's a group for this one path called and the group is called the Awakening Gambit, and the members are called Kingmakers. What they do is they put people they believe will awaken into positions of great harm, which will be hopefully the required catalyst to send them to the to the realm. Each path has a different catalyst. You have fate mages, and typically you have to put their life at some sort of crossroad for them to awaken. For death mages, they have to be on the brink of death, typically. Moro or Thesaurus, the life mages. Hell, I've heard rumors of them awakening during orgies because, life magic. It really just depends on the path. But theoretically, anyone can awaken. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Actually, a lot of times it doesn't happen. It's rare when it actually happens.
Thank you for the information. It's very interesting.
Like, if you want to know more about it, I can go more in depth. Mage history and lore is something that I kind of specialize in. It is one of my favorite topics. But personally, I'd love to learn more about your kind as well. The transition that you're stuck between life and death, and it is so fascinating to me how you're able to do that with a simple, I guess, bite. I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys do it in like Cirque du Freak, where you just kind of like do the whole like finger thing and you press your blood together at the fingertips? Because Cirque du Freak was pretty cool. Or is it, like I bite your neck and you turn into a vampire? Or is it the whole, when a redhead dies, they raise up as a vampire? Because you could go to like old myths and stuff where people would put cages over the graves of redheads, thinking there was some kind of devil spawn going to be coming back as a vampire.
So, Seeker just hears a voice whisper in her ear. Don't give away too much, sweetheart. And then if she looks back, this dude's there.
Well, and she'll look back and she'll say, okay, well, Doc, like, it would be exchange of knowledge. Like, he would give me in-depth knowledge on the vampire stuff, and I would give him in-depth knowledge on vampire stuff. And worse comes to worse, and, it just doesn't happen. That way...
Make sure you don't give too much away, hon. Gotta maintain our secrets, Don't want any of that, What do they call it in RPGs? Niche overlap? And he waggles his fingers at her and heads off.
I don't know. She'll shrug and then turn back to Zahira and Donald and say, sorry if I'm taking up the conversation. Like I said, I unfortunately talk a lot. Like, if you guys ever kind of gotta say, Seeker, hey, shut up, or something along those lines, because I can continue all day.
I certainly do not mind the sound of your voice. Although, I think we may have gathered interest from other parties. And,
well, then invite him over.
Yeah, she eyes over to Claudio again. She says that loud enough for him to hear, by the way.
On hearing that, he'll get up. One thing that you would notice, if anyone has any sense of style here, his suit is definitely bespoke. That thing is tailored from top to bottom. Very fine clothing. But they'd notice that if you look closely at him, in parts that would be covered, but you can kind of catch peeks of, he has scars lacing his skin. It appears like he was probably knifed. And he'll walk over. He's the type of person who definitely owns his space. He has a very, not commanding or demanding, but very air about him. Not very tall, actually. He's only about 5'8", but he seems as though he carries more. And you notice he's wearing a very relaxed smile. He doesn't seem to be ill at sorts or out of place socializing. And he'll approach your group with a smile on his face, a very warm, polite smile.
Zahira will return the smile as Claudio approaches. Stands to mention, Zahira, she definitely dressed up for an occasion like this. That being said, though, these are not the finest clothes. And again, that being said, she still pulls them off well. #striking looks.
The other thing that they would begin to notice about Claudio is that it seems as though his movements are very precise. It seems as though he moves with deliberation, as though he's thought out everything that he's going to do in advance.
Okay. All right.
And he'll extend a hand to Zahira.
Zahira will take the hand. Sans submission, just like the picture I have up here, the most notable feature about Zahira is the hijab that she is wearing. And she will say, Zahira, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Claudio, the pleasure's mine.
I apologize for... Oh, hi. So sorry, 2 faux pas so quickly, back to back.
No, but please go on.
Okay. All I was going to say was that I apologize for lack of a better term, calling you out earlier.
Oh, no, I've just been watching.
Yeah, just wasn't sure if it was your wish to do so, or you simply required a polite end.
I've found that usually if you make yourself seem interesting enough, usually someone will draw you in after a while. I've been listening to your help pointed seeker. Your friend collecting half the information I came here for, miss, for me.
Then I'm
Feel
glad that we
used
were
now.
able to assist. Oh, go ahead, Kim, my bad.
Oh, sorry. Seeker's just gonna kind of whisper to herself and say, I feel used now.
I'm sorry, my dear.
By the way, you all would notice this woman walk in and meet with the speakers. The speakers go over to her and start talking with her.
He'll extend a hand to Seeker.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry. She'll take the hand and she doesn't have a very strong grip, and it's kind of given because she's a very small woman, only about 5'1", soaking. Yeah, not soaking. Wait, so tired. And she'll shake his hand and say, "Oh, I'm Seeker. I guess you probably overheard that. I probably should stop
Did?
speaking so loud and so much."
You're precious. Please don't ever change.
Oh, I mean, thank you, but like, Precious really won't stop people from like overhearing and taking, secrets and stuff like that. So,
I was being ironic. He'll chuckle softly.
well then,
Could you imagine if we never changed? That would be dreadfully boring after a while, don't you think?
I mean, we change all the time and transition into new things. That's it's kind of what I'm quote unquote studying, different transitions and everything. Though my favorite is the transition between life and death, which is why I was so happy to meet Mr. Donald over there. Which will give him a thumbs up and a really, really big, kind of creepy smile.
Well, I am neither a magi or a vampire.
I'm sorry, Tiger, what was that?
No, so Donald's just kind of gonna look back, poker face it up, pleasure and Donald more to hold his hand out to shake.
I'll shake it. Hello.
Claudia was neither a vampire or a mage. She'll just ask, so what exactly are you then?
Hmm. Well, I'm one of the lost.
Lost.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I've. She'll pause for a moment and go through her head and say, no, I can't say I've ever heard that term before.
He'll think for a moment, look up. One of the things that you'll notice about him is that he has just this very unearthly bearing about him, even for one of the lost. It's almost as though you're looking at another worldly creature.
Like Uncanny Valley sort of stuff?
Not quite Uncanny Valley. It's from his merit gentrified bearing. It means that he comes across as one of the gentry.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, he'll basically he'll tilt his head to the side a little bit and he'll say, I'm one of those that was taken by the fair folk and reshaped.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you guys were called the last I know of the whole the changeling thing. There's so many books on it.
I couldn't help but notice that you actually bear a striking resemblance to our king.
You guys have a king?
We have several.
Oh.
Well, specifically, actually, we have 3, but it depends on who is in power. And sometimes it changes. This one tends to have a fairly stable court system. There are 4 courts to our people, and each one is ruled by a sovereign. And I belong to the court that embodies spring. Remind me of our king.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool.
So the woman walks over. Oh, you go, Kim.
Oh, my bad. She was just gonna look over to Zahira and give her a thumbs up and say, see, I'm learning so much, and nobody's saying I'm creepy for it.
They may just be being polite. She'll throw a very joking smile to her.
Hey, as long as I'm getting information.
Well-behaved women rarely made history, dear.
He's right, you know.
She'll kind of lean over to Zahira and say, oh, trust me, you know I'm not well-behaved. You learned that last night.
I mean, I wasn't going to say that.
And at that moment, the Middle Eastern woman walks over, hears this, and nods. Yes, Seeker was very...
Joey, I don't care what you say now. This party has been serving tea. Zahira got some and is now sipping it.
Claudio has a bag of popcorn. Don't ask.
She then turns to Seeker and Zahira and says, I was told to find you. Me to your friends. And she kind of just makes this lazy hand wave motion towards Donald and Claudio.
But of course, my lady. She'll stand up. Out of character, Joey, does Anak have like a modern name, or is she going by Anaksu Nazir right now?
That is the only name she has.
It's the only name she has? Alright, let's get it. She will say, this is Claudio, and this is Donald. Claudia, Donald, this is Anaxim here. She has
Enchanted.
come back to us after a very long stay, and she is still getting used to the place. It's been so long for her.
I had that problem when I returned.
Pleasure.
She will give a short, bow to both Claudio and Donald. A pleasure to meet you.
Again, the pleasure is wholly mine.
She smiles and then takes a seat next to Zahira. She does have striking looks for her, and she's wearing a very nice looking dress.
Zahira's going to turn to Claudio and she'll just ask, I am extraordinarily curious.
Mm-hmm. In general, or about something specific?
As Zahira psychic assaults the Google CEO,
Take that wisdom check. Nope.
I'll take it. Anyway, she'll turn to Claudio and say, I must say I'm very curious, but of everything that we've spoken about, the thing that I truly must know is how you got a hold of popcorn at an establishment like this.
He'll hold a piece up to her lips. It comes with our kind. Once we escape, we're given it. We need it desperately within our ranks.
Popcorn.
I'll hold another piece up to her lips.
I'll make sure to have some on hand whenever I go and meet one of your kind then.
No, we're having a soiree soon that anyone may attend. That's actually part of why I'm here tonight, other than, of course, to rub political elbows. I'm also announcing, air quote, the gala.
Announcing it. Do you think you can elaborate on it a little bit more?
It's just a end of spring. It's a end of spring. As I said, a gala, a soiree. Just a coming together of people who appreciate creativity, desire. Growth.
She'll look over to Seeker and she'll say, sounds like just the kind of place for us to attend, don't you think?
Seeker will nod very quickly and enthusiastically and say, yeah, it sounds like a bunch of fun. Do we have to wear dresses at this little ball thing?
You don't have to wear anything if you so desire. Though I would suggest. It was a joke. Please.
Actually, I didn't catch the last part of your statement.
Oh, he said you don't have to wear anything if you so desire.
Oh, okay.
He's joking.
He's like, Zahira's gonna say,
Trust me.
what if he thinks that wasn't a joke?
Although I can't promise that no one will end up naked, it is certainly not the intended effort.
Understood.
There was this one time for New Year's I ended up with nothing but a lampshade on my head, but let's not talk about that. We've just met.
Okay, yes, we will skip over that.
Can we talk about it later? That sounds
Sure.
interesting.
Donald's gonna
Awesome.
He'll hold up a piece of popcorn to her.
We'll take it. And sorry, Tiger, I didn't hear what you said.
It's like really good. It's like kind of corn, hot, fresh, yummy.
Donald's gonna raise a finger. I was going to ask which head. Donald raises a finger and says, "I was going to ask which head."
I'll smile. I do have one question for you, if you are one of the alternatively living, if you will. What does your kind eat?
The legends were correct. We drink blood.
There are some among our kind that are like you. They are taken by those that exemplify the legend of vampire and Dhampir and such. And they become like you. Although I don't think they need blood to subsist. I think that they survive off of the emotions of people. I can't remember. I'm not very familiar with them.
That's very interesting. There could be more like us that aren't us.
I know one, but she's insufferable. I'd introduce you, but that requires talking to her, so you're going to have to give me a moment to build up my composure to do so. I really, really don't like dealing with her. And sometimes I have to, so it makes it even more frustrating.
By the way, the woman is now playing with Seeker's hair. She just reached over and started playing with her hair.
The Seeker doesn't care.
Okay, I thought you said Zahira's hair. I was going to say, you're going to have a hard time.
No. She just, reaches through phases of the fabric.
I mean, with the shit I've seen her do, Zahira wouldn't really think too much of that.
At this point, you guys hear like a rapping sound on one of the tables, and the speakers have seated.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Oh, man, so that means it's serious business time, guys.
Boy,
There you go.
And
Go look.
so the Marquis, I have no idea how to fucking say like the female version. Marquise? She's seated at one of the tables, and she raises her voice. The speakers have decided that it is time for the meeting to commence. If everyone would take a seat at their respective houses, locations.
Who's saying this?
One of the this woman. You've never seen her before.
Okay, dang. I was about to say if it was Essie.
I mean, Essie's there too. Essie's actually sitting at the chair across from her.
Well, no, if it was Essie saying that, Seeker would have said something to Essie, but it wasn't Essie, and Seeker doesn't know this chick, so Seeker's gonna be quiet.
She's just going to gesture for everybody to head over.
Alright, somebody take control already?
So I'm going to assume that everybody at least sits down where they are, not goes to their areas, and then she'll sit down. And the other speakers will introduce themselves. Essie is one of the speakers, and then one of the Changeling Kings, who he doesn't seem to have any special titles. And then this woman will introduce herself as the Marquise Teresa Montremont of the Night. And she seems to be the one that's actively speaking for the group. Every once in a while, one of the other speakers will interject, but she seems to be the main voice of the group. And she clears her throat and says, "The houses have been dealing with problems of spirit creatures, and with the awakening of our new guest," and she gestures to, "we have decided that the houses must work together more closely in the future. As I'm sure many of you know, there's been a lack of our traditional enemies in the city. However, the speakers of the houses feel that this is perhaps the first movement in a plan. Would anybody else like to volunteer any information to the council at this time?" She'll nod. Very well then. I presume nobody has any information to volunteer. Now,
Seeker will just kind of raise a hand.
she inclines her head towards Seeker. "You may speak."
Sorry it took me so long. I just wanted to make sure that I had everything correct, and I didn't want to accidentally interrupt anybody. With the whole spirit thing, the that weird thing, I'm not really sure if it's been brought up too much, but there are creatures known as the Spiritborn who are able to negate the effects of the things. One such example is I can't remember what the spider thing's name was.
You weren't told. Had a character.
Really, I thought when they spoke to Garrett, he said that
Did he?
they were some sort of spirit that he was.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Like the Aslo.
Yeah. Tiger's got it. Aslo.
Aslo. Okay. There were these things called the Aslo, which had wrapped up ghosts, not spirits. There's a big difference. Had wrapped up the ghosts in this sort of web. And the web was impossible to touch in the Twilight. I'm not sure about the Umbra or any of the other realms. But, these creatures called the Spiritborn, or Shadowborn, sorry, not Spiritborn, Shadowborn, were able to negate the effects and destroy the web completely, releasing these ghosts.
She'll nod. Thank you. We will assess that information. Does anybody else have any information to volunteer to the council?
Lucci raises his hand.
She will nod to Claudio.
My king sends me to convey to you that he has been given information that he wishes shared with the population at large. It has become apparent that there is a case of missing young girls so far it seems to be between the ages of 11 to 14. Most of them fitting a very similar profile. Normally that wouldn't stand out to us. Of course, missing people do stand out to us because of the nature of our. He'll think for a moment how we come into this world, but it was reported to the king that there was a mortal girl spotted in our bazaar, our market. And when security tried to find her, it's very odd to see a mortal in our markets. It's almost, unless they are a victim of trafficking or uncanny circumstance. It's not something that happens very often. And we saw apparently a girl that fit that profile in the market. But when they went searching for her, they could not turn her up. Again, also, this is very strange. So, seeing that the girl fit the profile for about 5 girls that have gone missing in a very close time period, we thought it would be best to bring it forward. He'll actually slide forward an envelope, like a file. I'll say, this is everything that we've collected ourselves on the matter.
She'll reach a cold marble hand out and take it, set it on the table behind her. This information will be disseminated to the houses at the leisure of their speakers. We will do what we can to prevent such victims being taken in the future.
And of course, we will look into this and try to rectify it ourselves. We just thought that it would be best known by all. And he'll nod and sit down.
She'll nod. Is there anything else that the members wish to bring before the council? She looks, nods after a minute. Very well. Then, for now, the formal council is adjourned. If anyone has any need to speak to any of us, we will be available. She raps her knuckles on the table again. Meeting officially adjourned. And she is wearing that dress, by the way, with like the slit along her leg.
Fucking Tears over there just dying of thirst. All bad. Although she has other things to worry about.
So you guys are free to mingle again, and if you need to get a hold of either any of the speakers, they are available.
Yeah. Zahira is, after she kind of heard all the details about the missing girls and missing women and all that. Zahira's gonna make a I don't want to say a beeline towards Claudio, but kind of a beeline towards Claudio. And she'll put on as as polite a face as possible, and she'll say, Claudio, it was not my knowledge that there was such an issue amongst the fair folk. Or is that what you call yourselves? I apologize.
We tend to call ourselves the Lost.
Zahira walks back into the Google CEO's headquarters and psychic assaults the next CEO. Anyway, she'll just say, yeah, but basically after she said fair folk, she'll apologize and say, I apologize if that isn't the right term or a offensive term.
I'm sure there's some offended by it, but I don't know.
Well, I simply wanted to come to you to extend at least my personal hand of assistance in getting to the bottom of whatever's happening to those women.
I'm not.
Did I crash again?
No.
But I think Johnny did.
Yeah, I think Johnny might have crashed again. Let's put a pin in us then. So that way, yep, there we go. Yeah, let's put a pin in us then, so that way everyone else can like do their talking and all that while I wait for Johnny to get on back.
Kidoki. So the Marquis is the Marquis, however the fuck you say that. I'm not French. I'm sorry. She comes over and stands near Donald, kind of looks the group over. Oh, by the way, you notice her shadow moves without like she's standing stock still, but her shadow like is shimmering and moving very slightly on its own.
Good evening, Madame. May I introduce you to some of our fellow supernaturals in the city?
She nods. You may.
Very sad, Montreal. This is Seeker, and he will point at Seeker. Zahira, he'll point at Zahira, and Claudio. Seeker and Zahira are mages, and Claudio is one of the lost.
She gives a short bow. A pleasure to meet you.
Fuck it. I'll just say Zahira's back over there. After she's had her discussion with Claudio. We'll go back and say what they actually said later. Anyway, she, as Teresa introduces herself, she will. Does she look anachronistic? Like, does she act very anachronistically?
Not really. Like she acts very formal, like royalty, but she doesn't really act anachronistically.
Okay. So, yeah, Zahira's not going to incline. No, she'll incline her head, but not in a. Like, she's not bowing to her, if that makes any sense. She will say, "It is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Montremont."
She smiles. So how did you all enjoy your, I presume, first council meeting? I've seen Claudio here before, but I've never seen most of you here.
while I typically am, I am no stranger to things such as these. However, I'm used to them in a far more mundane context.
She nods. Very well. I understand. It is always the most normal thing. Even if one has prior experience, it can still be somewhat disconcerting.
Oh, sorry, out of character. Can you say that one more time for me?
Shit. Basically, she said, I can understand if you're not used to, even if you're used to this sort of thing, it can be disconcerting in such a circumstance, essentially.
Oh, yeah, Zahira will respond with, I, at least for myself, or I can only speak for myself, I would not exactly use the term disconcerting. I would just say that it requires a bit of adjustment, a new context, different actions.
Yes, quite. And you, Miss Seeker, how did you enjoy the meeting?
Oh, it was really cool. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. It wasn't actually really cool because there's like a lot of problems wrong with the city, and it's not really all that good that they're missing people, because that is actually kind of like really bad. But I really did enjoy how all the different supernatural communities were able to come into one room together and speak to each other and not have any like big massive fight outs and actually like trade information and stuff like that.
Yes. Your speaker, SC, and I were quite adamant about the formation of the council. Do you know of the history of the city's supernatural community before the council?
Nope. I'm kind of new here, and even so, I've spent most of my time, kind of, I don't know, doing other things, mostly reading and wandering around the twilight. I'm trying to acquaint myself with some of the regular ghosts around here. That way, I can have a small network set up.
She nods. Well, you see, before the council was formed, the city was, at least amongst the kindred, the shape changers, and your people, was a hotbed of a war. Territory constantly being fought over. Just of precious lives on all sides. And I contacted your speaker, Essie. She gestures over, and you see Essie talking with Dormanian. They're watching you guys like hawks, talking. The room. And she continues, I contacted her, and took a little bit of, what is the word? But we were able to arrange a meeting between the leaders of our various peoples, and from there, with quite a bit of diplomacy, the council was able to be formed. And of course, soon after the three of us had begun the idea, we encountered the loss, and she gestures to Claudio. We invited them to join the council as well. It was quite a bit easier to join with them. By the way, Destina mentioned like she moves like with inhuman grace. Like it is very noticeable.
Oh, that's really cool.
She nods. Claudio, how did you enjoy the meeting so far?
was titillating.
She smiles. I'm so very glad. How is the king doing?
He's well. He's coming into the end of his reign, and the Summer King is preparing his rule. We're all
She,
waiting with great anticipation to see what the challenge will be this year between the switching of the crown.
she smiles and nods. I do hope it is quite an impressive display. Would you convey my congratulations to the Summer King?
Oh, of course. Of course I will. There are few days left to spring closing, and the king and his wife, I imagine, are both waiting with great anticipation for their time off.
I can imagine it is very tiring being in any sort of rulership position for long.
Well, the double-edged sword of being a ruler of a Fey court is you are ruler of all 4 courts in your season. And then once the season ends, you go back to ruling your court. There is never a time when you are not without varying demands of power on yourself.
She nods. Yes, our dear Duke Mikhail has been for many years. I somewhat fear that he's come to hate the position, to be honest. It is quite a sad thing to see such a great leader who dislikes his leadership position as much as I fear he is growing to.
He bites his lip like he was going to say something that wholly wouldn't have been okay and held it back successfully. So he's kind of celebrating in his eyes.
She kind of has that glint in her eyes because with her, she has that glint in her eyes, and she just inclines her head. But Donald and I, we represented the council today. The House of the Night, I should say. It is a great honor amongst our people. Council meetings.
I'm truly, to the core of my heart, beside myself with respect right now. It's one of those things where you know he's being sincere about it, but he's also like almost flirtatiously playing with her a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Kind of grins a little. Unfortunately, I must be going. He'll be here to stay if he wishes, but I must get back home. There was many matters of policy to deal with before I left. I trust you understand, as I come to understand you are in some position of power yourself.
Me? Oh, please, I'm a servant of the people. Nothing more, nothing less. That grin says, yeah, right, okay.
She nods.
I mean, isn't technically the president supposed to be, a servant of the people, and we see how well that's going?
I have opinions there. I shouldn't say them. But I was going to tell you, Miss Seeker. Did you say that you liked... Did you say that you liked... you were trying to meet with ghosts? And you were interested in ghosts?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I talk to them all the time.
My best friend can speak to them.
Really? I'd love to meet them sometime. That would be really cool to get to, it would be good to know someone else who could speak to ghosts in this city.
Without going into too much detail, Well, I'm sure we can speak of it later. That is actually one of the power of the Fae. There are some of us who can speak to spirits and ghosts.
That's really cool because that's like a whole arcana. Dude, that's really cool. I know that
Not one of
that's
my
not the
power,
same
but
kind of thing.
it's not one of my power, but
Donald's gonna hop up and say that he has business he needs to perform elsewhere. And thank you all for the pleasure of meeting and everything. He's on the road. Good night.
And the Marquis will leave with him.
Lucha will turn back to Zahira and Seeker. And he'll say, my invitation still stands, Miss Zahira, and of course to you, Miss Seeker. If you would like to come by the court tomorrow and speak with the king, by all means, you are more than welcome.
That certainly does sound like something I'd like to do.
Of course. Say noonish, I'll have the cook put on lunch for you.
That sounds just pleasant.
Do you have restrictions on your diet?
Just no pork.
I'll make sure. And Miss Seeker, will you be joining her?
I will try to be there. I'm not sure if I have anything to do tomorrow. And I do have sorry, I trip over my words occasionally. I do have a job there. I do hope I can be there. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And do you think your friend who can speak to ghosts will be there?
I can ask. I can definitely ask him to come. He's a doctor,
Okay.
so
Oh, and a doctor. Oh my god, it just gets better and better.
he is the head of the ER department at Sacred Heart Local Hospital.
That's really cool. Like, if they can't make it, that's fine too, because I understand, especially ER doctors, they don't really have quote unquote schedules. It's you know how it is. They just get called in when it's needed. The same thing with surgeons. It kind of sucks to be a doctor. Like, people don't understand what they have to go through, especially with some of these horrible people. It's so horrible, and the nurses get the worst of it. That's why I'm kind of Anyway, sorry, I got off tangent there. I do that a lot. Like I said, I do. Just
By the,
shut up.
by the way,
I'm
the
just
mummy
wondering how
fell
long you can
asleep.
go for.
Who fell asleep?
The mummy fell asleep. She's just conked right out. And
Goodbye.
Essie's walking over to you guys while the acanthus disappeared.
Yeah. If Essie approaches the two of them, that she's out. Zahira will go ahead and excuse herself. She'll say, I'm going to go and take care of our new guest. Please don't be compelled to stop on account of my absence.
I should probably be heading back to the Freehold. Actually, I need to tell the king what was spoken here tonight.
She'll nod.
Essie will approach, smile at Claudio. Good evening, Claudio.
Good evening.
I trust you enjoyed the council meeting.
I did.
And she nods. I'm glad. I'm just here to help take our guest home. She's staying with us. I saw she was asleep and I wanted to come over and collect our people and our guest before it gets too late. I know the reservation expires soon.
I have a missing stuffed cat to see about.
Oh, if you lost something, Gerald might be able to help you find it.
Oh Lord, I hope so. One of our, he'll kind of tap his lip, trying to think of how to say it. Companions lost his stuffy.
She will pull
It's
out.
the only thing he had from his childhood, and he's quite upset. And seeing that he is the one who leads our sage escorts, when one of them is upset, the lot tends to be upset, and I would prefer that our comfort not be upset.
Wait a minute. Oh, do you mean companions like off of Firefly?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And she'll pull out this little tiny itty bitty, only about 10 inches long, Emperor Tamarin and say, "This is Gerald. He's technically supposed to be here for intelligence, but I'm sure he'll be able to track. Maybe."
I don't think now is probably the best time to go looking for the stuffed cat, but we can always maybe do it tomorrow or in the future. How did he lose a stuffed cat? I don't even. Oh, I'll just rub his face like he's just done with life now.
You know, I'm sure I could find it in a few moments.
He said it went missing when a client of his and him were, and it was gone from
Having
its
sex.
Perhaps they do have more than sex.
If she taps on a thing. Unfortunately, just like a little iPad she has. Unfortunately, I am very busy, but I'll see if they decide to help you.
It's a stuffed cat. It's not exactly a high priority.
She chuckles. Well, it's foster classes, you know.
Granted, it is something from his childhood, but he'll just sigh. Like, chasing after stuffed cats is genuinely actually a huge imposition upon his time, but he has to do it in order to keep the horse happy.
Hey guys, roll a perception empathy on SC. Or not perception empathy, composure empathy.
Yeah. Okay. Oh shit. Please tell me I gave. Okay, I did. Thank God.
Oh, wait a minute. I have. Oh, no, wait. It's here now. Which dice roller are we using?
Number 1.
Okay. And you said it was composure?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's no technical like perception stat.
Get it.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Like you roll like 3 10s in a row. Okay, 3 successes.
I was getting ready to say, I was hoping,
So
but there's still.
Essie's got the very. No, she's Mage Mom. She's definitely like the moment that it was mentioned it was from his childhood. She got very focused on Claudio. You guys can kind of infer you might have a mission coming up.
Oh, the second the missing kids were brought up, SC looked a lot more interested.
Well, when it was mentioned that the stuffed cat was from the person's childhood.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I mean, at a game, that's one of the plots too, but whatever.
I mean, that's fair. I got space. Let's get it. All right. She's down for looking for a cat. It's not her highest priority, but, you know, she's down for doing shit.
Seeker's gonna lean over to Zahira, and she's gonna offer Gerald to Zahira. And then she'll just kind of say, "Essie for Mage Mom. Can we Can we make that her official title, just Mage Mom? Can we do that?
I mean, I'd be down. And Zahira will take Gerald.
He's very soft and cuddly.
It's all right. Zahira has animal kin. It's one of my few characters with animal kin. Did I crash?
No,
I don't think
Kim
so.
did.
No, it was Kim.
And then Seeker sends like 3 fucking zombies to go hit up Google headquarters. Anyway,
The third
For
CEO.
raising, because they have boners. Remember,
Speaker becomes the combat character I know she can be.
oh my god, mother.
Oh my god.
Look, no, Tim says all of my characters are combat characters. Like every one of
Because they're all
them.
combat.
No, they're not.
All of them.
Anyway,
So Seeker will just look over to Essie. Oh, see, fuck y'all guys, they're not all combat characters. She'll look over to Essie and say, okay, so it's decided you're Mage Bomb now.
she blinks for a few seconds, then goes back to tapping on her iPad. All right, we've got to get going soon. The
Does
hotel
that make
reservation
me-
does expire.
Does that make me Faye Daddy?
I mean, I
Essie
don't know,
looks
I'm
him
not...
up and down. Nods.
He'll return the look.
I mean, Zahira will respond with, I'm not sure, out of curiosity, how many people call you Daddy?
Oh my god.
I can't guys say. Zahira's bold like that.
This is bad as eyelashes at her.
Seeker's gonna look over to Sahira and say, oh, it's fine to ask that, but I can't ask what someone is? Well, that's rude.
She'll nod and she'll say, I have my answer. And my answer then is yes, you would be Faye Daddy.
He'll like clap his hands and raise them to Jesus. Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Well then, I suppose we should be getting her off to bed, and she'll look to the pass out mummy unless someone already got her.
Yep. She's I see is helping her out the door. She seems to be very grumpy to have been woken up. There's no sandstorms yet.
I mean, well, out of curiosity, what path is Essie?
Mastigos, if I remember correctly.
I mean, yeah, she could be like, go ahead, bitch, try it, see what happens.
Well, Claudio will take his news, my dear. Donati will definitely see himself out. Mwah. Kisses to all.
Bye-bye, good night.
Good night. I think we can kind of hand wave the mages heading back home. So, as the scene ends, the thing has gone well, and the mages head to their respective houses, as do all the other supernaturals. So, thank you, players, for playing. And would you like to say something before we go, Tim?
Oh, I was just going to add, if Seeker's okay with it, Zahir's going to Seeker's place, and they're going to continue their escapades from last night. That's all
Okay.
I That was
Well
Thank
then.
you, players, for playing. Don't trust the fucking vampires.